And this brings me to my final point of today's show. These abortion bans also highlight something else, not just the Republican Party's war on women or their disdain for science, but it's the fact that this Republican Party, as we know it today, has not had a new idea in 40 years. Not one. 3 things this Republican Party has been pushing for the last 40 years. 1, cut taxes for the wealthy and let it trickle down to the workers. 2, cut all regulations so businesses can do whatever the hell they want. And 3, don't let women have abortions. 40 years. Longer than I've been on this planet, by the way. They have been pushing those same 3 tired and worn out ideas that do not work. I honestly want people to think about that fact for a moment. This is a party that hasn't had a new idea for the entire time that the millennial generation has been alive. Ever since Reagan first came into office and started pushing this failed theory of trickle-down economics, that was it. Reagan also ushered in the era of deregulation that also tanked the economy, by the way. And of course, the religious right who latched onto Reagan with the anti-abortion movement. But ever since then, Republicans have done nothing to actually benefit the American public, the working class, the average people out here in this country. They've done plenty to benefit the wealthy elite. Plenty. The tax cuts, the deregulation, all of that benefits them. The abortion thing is just to keep their base a little drummed up while they rob them, because that's what's happened. You know, we're making up for the fact that wealthy people don't have to pay as much in taxes. You know, we're getting hosed on that. We may not be paying more because of that. Some of us are, actually, under the current tax plan. Some of us are. But what I mean is, our schools aren't properly funded. Our kids are using textbooks that are 15 to 20 years old. We're paying higher prices for medications. We're paying for the trade wars. We're seeing college prices skyrocket. We're getting screwed over by the big banks. They robbed our pension funds in 2007 and 2008 and got bailed out instead of thrown in prison. We've been paying the price this whole time for the Republicans' policies. And the Democrats went along with some of these too, by the way. But the only reason these people keep voting Republican, knowing that this party hasn't had a new idea since Reagan, is because of the abortion thing. That's what keeps them coming back. You know, the culture war issues. That's it. When you go to the polls in 2020, I want you to ask yourself this. I hope you ask yourself this prior to going to the polls, because you probably need to think about it. When was the last time the Republicans had an idea that benefited the middle class, the working class, the underclass? When? I mean, we were told earlier this year multiple different times that their health care plan was right around the corner. We're going to get it next week. They went to Camp David a couple weekends ago to work this out, and they came up with nothing. Trump told us on Twitter, hey, get ready, it's coming in April. Oops, it didn't come in April. Now he says, it's going to come after 2020. Listen to me. You're a party that's been running on repealing Obamacare for nearly 10 years. You've had time to come up with a health care policy. You failed to do it because you don't know what you're doing. If it's not a tax cut or deregulation or an abortion, you're clueless and you're lost. And that is exactly what the Republican Party is today. They're clueless, they're lost, and they haven't had a single good idea since long before I was born. And the only ideas they've had in the last 40 years, those 3 that I've talked about, have been absolute train wrecks for the United States. Look, I am Farron Cousins. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you to David for letting me sit in today. I will be back tomorrow to fill in once again. In the meantime, follow me on Twitter at Farron Balanced, also on Instagram and on Facebook at Farron Balanced. And stay tuned for the bonus show. Got a great new report from Media Matters showing that Fox News, even on their newsy programs, is still lying to the public every day. And also the GAO says that Ben Carson definitely broke the law. I'm Farron Cousins. Thank you for watching The David Pakman Show. I'll see you tomorrow.